Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I wanted to pop into your Facebook and talk to you about breakfast today. And actually begin by asking you a question. The question is, have you felt tired or irritable and cranky or hungry within couple of hours of having your breakfast? So, a lot of us have breakfast in the morning before rushing to work, or perhaps even we get to work and then eat our breakfast, and then we think we should be set for the day up until the lunchtime, anyways, right? Because your morning is busy. And then after a little while, you start feeling hungry, or you're cranky for no reason, or you're irritated, and even a simple request at work might sound like, I don't want to really do this, or the tiredness starts to set in, and then the natural reaction with that is for mid morning, you need a pick me up. So that pick me up could be a coffee or high sugar, caffeinated drink, like what's one of those drinks called? The red peppers and so on, right? Or you might go for something sugary in terms of a snack, like a cookie or a donut, because you think that that sugar is what you need to give you that quick energy to sharpen your focus, and you want to dive in and grab that quickly so that you're able to just get on with your work, get that energy, and start focusing. Now, if you're one of these people, right, who gets irritable or cranky or who feels tired, then there is a problem with what you've eaten for breakfast. Now, most of the people actually never end up having breakfast, and that's a whole other set that we need to talk about. Breakfast is really the most important meal of your day, because think about it. You've been literally on a fast, which is why it's called a breakfast, since the previous night when you've had your dinner. So, typically there's about 10-12 hour difference between your last meal and when you're supposed to have breakfast. So that's a pretty long time for the body to have not eaten. And therefore, you want your breakfast to be really nutritious and nourishes, and sustain you to lunchtime, because that is the first meal of the day. That's when you want to set the parameters for having all the energy and nutrition you need to carry on through the day. Who's joining in? Say hi, please. I'd love to interact with you guys. So, yeah. So think about breakfast that way, that it is one of the most important meals. Now, there are, unfortunately, most of the people, instead of thinking of breakfast as a very important meal of the day, it's more as an afterthought. Like, think about it. Like, the previous day, you might be thinking about, oh, what do I take for lunch? Right? What do I take for lunch for myself, for my husband, for my kids? What do I pack? What do I keep? Or we think about dinner next day, right? Like, okay, on the way back, I have to get grocery and I have to make this or that. So we're always planning our lunches and dinners, but we're never really planning for breakfast, which is a very important meal. Breakfast generally tends to be more like an afterthought. Maybe, in the morning, you're like, what should I have now? Okay, the oatmeal is there or the smoothie is there. Let me just quickly throw something together and have it. Or worse come, you won't even bother about that. You just go to work and you think, I'll figure something out there. So really start thinking about breakfast in a very different way. And then there was a time when breakfast was all about, very traditionally, if you think about breakfast, it would be either toast or some cereal with some juice or coffee, perhaps bacon or eggs. And that was how we thought about breakfast for a long time. Then came all these packaged and processed cereal boxes, high in sugar and high in sodium, and a lot of preservatives added in them too. All these flavors, maybe sometimes colors, like we know, like the kids cereals, right? They have so much artificial color in them, which is not doing the kids any good. They are so high in sugar that you're adding to your calories, and at the same time you'll be feeling hungry very soon afterwards. So all of these little things you have to start thinking about. So breakfast became more about the cereal thing. Okay, let me just quickly open this pack of whatever boxed brand name that you eat, and add some milk and you're done basically. And then again, same problem with being tired or cranky and wanting to reach out for that sugary little pick me up or coffee. And then after that was done and people started now realizing that, okay, those are not really, the box cereals are not really that good for me. Let me go back to oats. And then there's different types of oats, like, the quick fashion ones, the quick rolled oats, the rolled oats, the steel cut oats. And then there's this whole confusion about, okay, which oats am I supposed to have? Is it really good to have oatmeal? Some people who are wanting to go gluten-free don't know whether oats are gluten-free or not. So there's a whole bunch of confusion around oats as well. And honestly, the oatmeal, even the steel cut ones, which are probably the best variety of oats that you can have because they have a lot of fiber in them and it's a whole food, and that's why it takes so long to cook it. That never actually does it for me. I feel really hungry after a little while, even with oats, right? So even though it's like a complete meal, you think, I feel pretty hungry pretty much very soon after having the oatmeal. So it does the thing for me temporarily, and then I'm off and I'm hungry again. And then after oats is the traditional smoothie, right? We all started getting on the smoothie bandwagon. We were like, okay, let me throw in some fruits and some almond milk or coconut water or just traditional milk or waters, just and have a smoothie. And it became the rage or the go-to for everyone in terms of breakfast, which is also fine. But what beyond that, right? Like, is breakfast really just about these 3 or 4 items? And let me tell you, it's not. It really isn't. So for your breakfast, you want to make sure that you're having meals that are satiating you, that are nourishing you, and that are giving you the energy to sustain yourself through the busy morning. Mornings are the busiest time, right? Like, we're rushing to get to work, sending the kids off to school, getting to work, and then going through our emails and or whatever other work you do, figuring out what you need to do for the day. So mornings are really, really packed, and that's why you really want to make sure that what you eat for breakfast is really nourishing you at the cellular level. So you really want to think about breakfast in those terms. You also want to be thinking about a variety in breakfast. You want to be thinking about what can you have beyond the oatmeal or the boring old smoothie, right? Like, if you're going to just keep having that becomes boring, and then there's a tendency to, maybe I'll just skip it, and on the way maybe I'll pick up some breakfast from a fast food store, and that's not doing you any good either. Or otherwise you might be completely confused about what to have for breakfast and what might be a good meal. Time is such an important factor because mornings are so busy. You don't know what to cook or how to prepare for breakfast, which is fast and easy and quickly put together and yet nourishes at the same time. So if you've been struggling with any of these things, then I've got just the right thing coming for you in January. It starts on January 2nd, and it's called the Breakfast Challenge. So it's a 5-day breakfast challenge. It's absolutely free to join, and I'll just post the link off for the challenge here. All you have to do, sign up for the link. You'll start getting emails about what you are expected to do and it's a pretty simple challenge. All we're doing is every day I'm sending you one new breakfast recipe, so you can say goodbye to the boring old oatmeal or just having smoothies. You'll get one new recipe every day. You will get a tip about breakfast, whether it's about making it quick or easy or about something else related with breakfast. There'll be a tip each day on breakfast items. And then I will be hanging around in my private Facebook group, Nutrition 101, which you can join, which is free to join again. And I will be doing live streams like this, asking questions, answering your questions and queries, and we'll be discussing what you ate for the day, and take it from there and just build on the tips and make really breakfast interesting for you and nourishing for you. So all of that is part of the challenge. Now, if you're wondering if, January 2nd, it's too early, I can't really make it, and I'm still busy or I have to go back to work, so I don't want to get into a challenge, you know what? I still suggest sign up. Sign up, get the emails, get the recipes, get the tips, and then whenever you're ready to start with the challenge, you can start at that time. Like, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to join and start on the 2nd. I mean, of course, if you do, you'll be part of the group and you'll be part of the discussions. But you know what, pace it out, do what you can. At least you'll get the ball rolling in the new year, thinking about a different way of eating rather than just being in that little bubble, or in that little world of yours, all about the traditional ways of breakfast or just skipping breakfast. So really all I wanted to talk about today was about the breakfast challenge. I hope you're going to join me. We already have tons of people signing up, and I would love for you to be a part of it too. It's like I said, all free. Feel free to hop in, and we'll be sharing tons of resources as well. So it's really the place to be in the new year, especially if wanting to eat healthy is part of your resolutions. And I always tell my clients, please don't make resolutions, because they have a bad rep, right? Like, people always say, oh, resolutions are meant to be broken, and it's like just a tradition probably, where you think that you're going to do this. What I tell my clients is, decide that you're going to make a change, because once you've made a decision, then you're accountable for yourself, right? Like, if I decide to eat breakfast every day, or if I decide to eat a healthy breakfast every day, that's a decision you made for yourself or for your family. And again, the breakfast ideas in here are for everyone, right? So whether you're single or you have a family with kids, the breakfast ideas are really varied and everybody can enjoy them. So make sure that you join the breakfast challenge. Again, it starts on 2nd of January, but the moment you sign up, you will get an email, and it'll take you through the steps of what's required next. Other than that, feel free to join my Nutrition 101 group even now, because not just during the challenge, but even now, we go through a lot of tips and resources in the group. I sometimes do live streams there to answer questions. So I would really love to have you part of my group as well. It's called Nutrition 101. I will be posting both the links here. So make sure you join me. I look forward to hearing from you and starting the challenge and 2017 on a very scrumptiously delicious and healthy way. So join me. Take care. Bye-bye.